Hey gang, thank you for watching our Waiver Wire show all season long. We have reached the very last one. We are talking championship week waivers. My hope for you, of course, is that you don't have to hit the waiver wire at all for week 16, but sometimes it's simply not an option. Hey there, I am Chris, and we're going to do this one a little bit differently rather than go shallow leagues and then deeper leagues. Going to do it by position because I hope very much that if you have waiver wire needs for your championship game, well, maybe it's just one position. We're specifically focus on one position, so we'll go position by position, give you different kinds of options in each one. Now, as always, please remember that I'm recording this before the Monday night game, Steelers-Bengals. I don't know what's happened, and so maybe there's some news that changes the way we look at waivers based on the Monday night game, and if that's the case, that will be covered on the Tuesday podcast, which you can always find at harrisfootball.com. Let's get to it. At quarterback, if you're in a league where Jalen Hurts is available, no time like the present. The Eagles get the Cowboys on Sunday, and I do not fear that matchup in the slightest. I think Hurts had his passing yardage total maybe a little exaggerated by some blown Arizona coverages on Sunday, but the fact is, for the rushing alone, Hurts is a top 12 option for Week 16. 29 rush attempts the past 2 weeks, tons of zone read, tons of keepers and scrambles. The 3 touchdown passes were a little lucky. Miles Sanders got stuffed over and over inside the 5, but Hurts would be the main guy I would be adding for Week 16. If you can't get him, try and take a look at Baker Mayfield. He's gone from a pretty disastrous first couple of months to looking like a legit number 1 overall NFL draft pick. The Giants defense is legitimately good, and Mayfield didn't just check stuff down. He got good protection. He hung in the pocket. He laid in some beautiful passes. The Browns get the Jets on Sunday. I mean, the same logic applied to Jared Goff last week, and that didn't work out so well, but I am okay streaming Mayfield if he is available. And if those guys are rostered, I would certainly dislike having my fantasy championship rest with Mitch Trubisky, but he's been something approximating acceptable for most of the last 3 games. We certainly get boneheaded throws here and there. His pick against the Vikings on Sunday was incredibly unacceptable. Winning by 3, going into the end zone with 3 minutes left in the game to end it, really, really stinky. But, I mean, overall, he's been fine. And mostly he gets to pick on the Jags defense, which is really banged up. So yeah, I wouldn't want to do it with Trubisky, but of the lightly owned QBs, I think he's probably your highest upside streamer of Week 16, but check out the ranks later in the week because I might not have Trubisky all that high. I certainly will have Hurts up very high. Okay, how about at running back? The week's biggest story will no doubt be this injury to Clyde Edwards-Helaire toward the end of Sunday's win over the Saints. He's going to miss Week 16. He might miss the rest of the year, playoffs included, which comes at a real bad time. Enter this guy, Le'Veon Bell, available in nearly half of Yahoo leagues. I'm not going to call this the prettiest thing I've ever seen. He's not the Le'Veon Bell of old, but he had 13 touches even before CEH got hurt, and being associated with the Chiefs' offense is very good. Now, before we get totally hot and bothered, realize that on this carry at the very end of the game, a face mask against Demario Davis, Bell was also injured. And the Chiefs reported that his return to that game was doubtful. So let's make sure he's playing against the Falcons Week 16. But if he is, stuff like this, very much on the docket. I think you can tell at the end of this that he's not fast anymore, but he's still trying to think a few steps ahead. And just in terms of being a power back, like a stacked line, they're trying to route the clock here. He's physical. Find a little bit of a crease, drag the pile. Hard to imagine if he's healthy. He's not in the top 20 running backs this week. The other big name this week at running back is Tony Pollard. We've been calling him our number 1 running back handcuff for more than a month. I hope you listened. Here was his early touchdown against the Niners. And here was the late touchdown that iced the game. That's a good initial cut, which I think, Zeke Elliott can cut. And it's also some sturdiness to have a couple of guys converge and to survive the tackle, which I think Zeke also could probably do. But that escape velocity there at the end, I honestly don't think that Zeke Elliott has that. And that makes Pollard intriguing. Now, trust me, there was a lot of this too, which should be very, very familiar looking for anyone who's watched Zeke Elliott play all year. Pollard made 70 of his yards on 2 plays, and otherwise it mostly looked like a slog. But you will very much take it, because as I say, there seemed to be a little bit more juice with Pollard. Don't know if Zeke is playing against the Eagles Sunday. Love Pollard if he doesn't. So the other names, you can definitely take a good look at Jeff Wilson this week, provided he's healthy. He limped off the field twice against the Cowboys, but Raheem Mostert did too, and Mostert never came back in. Salvon Ahmed was good and steady against the Patriots, and if Myles Gaskin is out again, I love his matchup with the Raiders. With Mark Ingram a healthy scratch, Gus Edwards is a valuable number 2 in Baltimore. And in deeper leagues, I don't want you to use Sony Michel, but if Damian Harris is out again, Michel should at least see work. Okay, before we do the other positions, let's thank the sponsor, because that's how the show happens, because we have sponsors, and if you support them, the show keeps going. Today it's Manscaped. That's why this is sitting here, because this is my Lawnmower 3.0 from Manscaped. It's a body trimmer. I recommend it. 2020 has not been the greatest year, but 2021 hopefully will be way better. And if we are all going to emerge from quarantine, we should emerge not as hairy wildebeests. The Lawnmower 3.0 from Manscaped, you just saw mine. It's waterproof, it's durable, it's a body trimmer. And when it comes to shaving any part of your body, including your nether regions, you really want to not get a nick or a pinch or a cut, and the lawnmower has skin-safe technology, so you will not. Available now in Canada and Australia and the UK, as well as the US. Ask your partner if a little more grooming everywhere would be welcome. Also makes a great gift, and we can get you 20% off with free shipping. Go to manscaped.com and use the code HarrisTube. All right, let's dig into the rest of the Week 16 waiver wire. We'll talk wide receiver, and the position's been a mess all year. It's not fun to think about adding wide receivers, but I think there's a couple guys on some waiver wires could wind up being must starts in Week 16. You can certainly think about Russell Gage. I have no way of knowing early in the week whether Julio Jones is going to miss another game, but maybe the Falcons do rush him back for the Chiefs, and then Gage does lose his appeal. But if I needed a wideout and I had to make one waiver claim before I had any info about Jones, I think I'd probably still go with Gage. It's a combination of a couple downfield passes on Sunday. We've seen the red zone touchdown where the fade to him was obviously the first option. And the fact that it's the Chiefs, offenses usually wind up stacking numbers against the Chiefs because they have to. No Julio, and I think Gage will certainly be in my top 30 for this week. I'll also take a good look at Rashard Higgins. We're talking 5 targets Sunday night from Baker Mayfield. 4 of those targets were intermediate throws where Higgins has a defender on his back. He's run like a stop route or a cross and shown pretty good timing with Mayfield. And the other one was unsuccessful, but it was a fly into the back corner of the end zone. It was pretty close to a touchdown. Jarvis Landry is the more attractive option against the Jets on Sunday. But I think Higgins has advanced to the point where, at least if Mayfield's going to stay this red hot, I have a sense that even the Browns' ancillary guys have a chance each week. So here's this list. We'll be throwing Tim Patrick on these lists until the end of time. He didn't do anything on Saturday. But if you're taking bets on any Broncos receiver, I don't think it's Jerry Jeudy. I think it's Tim Patrick. Still, Kiki Cutie scored again and then had a chance to score a second time to tie the Colts game at the very end, but fumbled into the end zone. But there's work there for him with Houston. Let's see if Keenan Allen and or Mike Williams are healthy for Week 16 in that game against the Broncos, because if not, Tyron Johnson is interesting as a deep league flyer, though Jalen Guyton would also probably be there with him. If you're in streaming tight end mode for Week 16, Not a lot of great options. You're forgiven if the name Jordan Akins brings this play to mind. when some folks, me, were streaming him in Week 14 against the Bears and he lost this one in the sun, that was not awesome. But, Sunday against the Colts, he was fine. He caught one pass down the field. He had a couple of catches as the Texans were mounting that last furious drive to try and tie the Colts. He's not redefining the position. He's not that elusive in the open field, but Akins isn't slow, and he's got a chance at a handful of targets against a bad Bengals defense on Sunday. I would prefer Austin Hooper if I could get him to stream. I don't know, in deeper leagues, that might not be that likely. Akins is not a bad option for some volume. Dalton Schultz scored a touchdown Sunday, otherwise was barely used. And actually, Jordan Reed, exact same thing. And the reason maybe Reed is a little lower on this list is because there is a question about whether George Kittle might return for Week 16 against the Cardinals. And lastly, look at this list. We don't do it often on the channel, but it's a 1-week scenario. You're here, you made it. If you need to pick out a defense to stream, I almost don't care about the matchup. The world has not yet caught up to the fact that Washington's defense is simply one of the best in the league. They play the Panthers Sunday. It's not a perfect matchup, but it's good enough. We'll see if McCaffrey's back. I even think if McCaffrey's back, I'm using Washington. I don't hate the Eagles against the Cowboys, who certainly on offense will make mistakes. And the same is true for an inconsistent Chargers defense getting to face Drew Lock and the Broncos. And that will do it. We very much appreciate you watching these waiver shows throughout the season. One of the more popular things that we do on the channel. Very happy to have had you all year long. Now, please stay subscribed because we have fun stuff coming for you here at the end of December. More fun year-end lists and look-ahead lists to 2021. I think pretty soon we're going to be doing a sleepers for 2021. You might want to stay tuned to that. So please do keep checking in on the channel and stay subscribed. And also check out the sponsor. If you've been maybe thinking some below the belt maintenance might not be the worst idea, Manscaped is a really great sponsor. And if you use our promo code, it keeps them coming back. And that's how the channel stays up and stays free for you to watch. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.